Hello everyone, welcome back to MoteMancer. This is the playthrough. I'm revisiting MoteMancer after several months of a break to test out the new stuff. And I'm not actually going all that fast. I don't know, I'm starting to think maybe I should just put, like, big cuts in here where I build stuff off camera and then get back to it, and then you at least get to see some more of the new content, but I don't know. I don't really do that kind of style of video. So, tough shit, I guess. I hope you enjoy watching me make stupid grindstone factories. So, why did I pull it? I know I wanted to make a bunch of elemental life. Why did I pull it out so early here? I guess because otherwise I was going to run into this stuff. Okay. So, okay, what do I need to make more grindstones? Nothing. I have what I need. Just make some. Okay. So I want like 10 grindstones for all this. Because we're pulling about, well, there are about 20 collectors up there. So I don't know. I mean, the obvious kind of thing to do with air grippers looks kind of like this, right? Where you offset them a bit. And where exactly do you fit a flare? I mean, if you presumably also want the output to go like that, so there's not actually any place you can put a flare that powers everything, a single flare that powers everything in this setup. But for example, you could put two in like this. It's just, since I haven't got like life power automation going yet, I don't really want. I want to cut down the number of mana flares because I'm gonna have to keep replacing these when they run dry because I don't look at the thing for a while. You know? And also, I talked about wouldn't it be nice to have things not be in such a straight line, but I don't even know how you do that. Like, it just, I don't do shapes, I guess, is what I would say. Now, maybe there's a cute way to reuse this mana flare to power the structure next to it, like the obvious tiling would look like this. But this mana flare, well, I mean, I guess it's kind of doing enough if I then put the next one here. Pretty irregular, and a bunch of wasted space. What if... Oh, I shouldn't put in these. What if I scooch this a bit closer? Try to make it fit in like... Well, figure out how to power it later. If I try to do like this, now it all fits together rather compactly. The problem is there's no place to fit power for, oh, this reaches up to here. So this actually works, right? This tiles. If I were going to build another one, I would put the next thing like here, and a mana flare there actually does reach up to this. So that's kind of nice. Okay, so I think I can just build that out several times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I need the gripper here as well. This is kind of like one of the things I love about MoteMancer is the, you know, solving. They're not difficult problems or anything, but finding a cute layout that does what you want with the specific set of tools you have available at the moment. This is 5 per second, which does fit on a streamway, so that's fine. Even on one lane of a streamway. Okay. So this is a bunch of salt. And I made 17 binders. It's only 5 salt? Shouldn't... Right, there's 20 of these. So I'm only actually making 4 water per second. Or 5. So this is enough to make 5 salt per second, which means I would need 10 elemental binders to saturate, to fully consume this. So what does an elemental binder tileable setup look like with our grippers situation? Probably they want to be offset a bit somehow, but not like that. That doesn't work. Like that? That seems bad. This is fine, but like leaves a gap which is unsightly. And oh, is this anything? No. Is this? That's actually nice, I think. If you could, because you can run grippers like, you know, outputs there, inputs here, right? Yeah, and then just like, ta-da, this all tiles, and then go back to this for the next one, right? The mana... You need more mana flares than I would like. Maybe if I'm trying to optimize for mana flares, I actually do want a little gap in between them. So I don't have to put down so many. Because I could put a flare like here. And maybe that could power all the grippers for both. It looks... Maybe? Yeah, that looks right. Because I can... I could do, like, for example, outputs... inputs? Right? It's one flare for every pair of these guys. That's pretty good. Anyway, just like having here's another little tiny mini puzzle for me to solve based on where I currently am in the game and what my priorities are, what I care about. I'm probably never going to build another elemental binder thing that looks exactly like this again, but for my current needs, this is about right. And in the future, maybe I'll want to make sure I can retrofit it to fit in mana blooms, but yeah, actually that's a good point. Can I leave space in here to power this with just blooms? I mean, with roots would be nice as well. But I guess something you could do with blooms would be, you could do something like this and just slap a bloom in here and it reaches both sides. That seems workable. Okay, so I think this is retrofittable. Alright, I like this approach. And I have to lay down 10 of these things. Is that right? No. Yes. each one pairs exactly with a grindstone, right? This makes a salt every 2 seconds. This needs a salt every 2 seconds. Now, this whole thing only works if I have a single input streamway. So I have to merge the life and... Yeah, see, these have already run out of... The mana flares ran dry, so I'm going to have to replace them if I ever, like, start being good at this game. This only works if I merge the inputs, but that's fine. I can do that. I don't have so much of anything that it doesn't fit on one side of the streamway. So we're looking at, let's say, both going in this direction, but salt comes in here, and I'll connect these up when I actually want the inputs to flow. And outputs will go this way. Okay, so this seems pretty easy to place, right? To tile, you just go duh, flip, gap, right? Oh, but and then here? Yeah. Flip, gap. Flip, flip, gap. Oh man, I don't have space. I'm running into... Well, this is all, like, non-renewable entropy. I can just push it out of the way. I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I just need like one more of these clusters. And then you can just hold down the mouse button while you do this stuff, right? You don't have to be careful with it. I hope I haven't messed this up. I think it's right. There we go. And place in the flares. Connect up the streamways. It looks nice and compact despite being, like, you know, in some sense kind of a mess. Fly, my pretties? Let's go? Okay, good. It is let's going. So, it's a small accomplishment, but it's kind of my first step on the path out of doing everything by hand. A small amount of... Are these guys... They're actually... The mana... No. It's gone. Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, I built this forever ago. Yeah, I kind of wish I'd made this 4x4 instead of 5x4. So I have to place more of these stupid mana flares. But it's okay. Getting life automated means I can finally... Getting large amounts of life means I can start making large amounts of roots. Which is what I need to actually start doing everything else. Didn't I have... Hey, you were on a hotkey before. Is that like a temporary thing? Bind to 9. Yes, do it. 9. It doesn't go. It was here. Am I stupid? Okay. It is on 9. I don't know why it wasn't working a second ago. Now, of course, this is all dried up. Oh, I forgot to say. Let me check this. Yeah. So I started yesterday's well, session 1, which for me was yesterday, but for you was a couple days ago. I started the gameplay, this game, on Elementalist, thinking like, yeah, okay, I'll play Elementalist, and I like looked through the Discord to see, you know, what exactly does Elementalist disallow, and there was some discussions about like, oh, you know, should you be allowed to place basic chests or not? Like our simple chests. Oh my god, there was life just sitting here the whole time? Okay, good to know. Why is it not on the map? I guess it is, it's just not easy to see behind the entropy. Okay, well that's... feel a bit silly for shipping it in from so far away. Anyway, and there, you know, Cyan talked about how he, sort of wanted, when he had first started making MoteMancer, he didn't envision the whole salt, like, stuff existing at all. He thought there'd be elements, you'd build things with elements, and, you know, there wasn't like a stratum that was available on every plane. You always had to make do with what you had. And it turned out that like was not the game experience that he wanted in the end, so he added all the salt stuff. But he thought, oh, I'll make Elementalist, and that'll be like a challenge run you can have to play the way I originally thought the game was going to work. So you lose the salt logistics. But he had always intended to include a simple chest that was available everywhere. And so for a while, Elementalist was planned to not forbid using basic chests. And indeed, even as early as a couple days ago, it seemed like that was the consensus. Oh, I have to choose something to unlock, right? Yeah. I don't need Seismic Flare. Planar Reliquaries would be cool, but I don't think I'm really there yet. I do kind of want to have Echo Flare going, so this is like how you fill blueprints in. Anyway, but you know, a commit went in last night that made Elementalist forbid simple chests. So now I don't have access to those. That's fine. I mean, I'm playing Elementalist, and whatever it was supposed to be is what it is. It's just kind of funny that I started my Elementalist run with chests, and now I can't have them anymore. The ones I placed before are still allowed. They don't get removed, I believe. But I can't put down any more. I don't even necessarily need to power all this stuff again, right? Yeah. Leave that. I do kind of want to make sure my Saltway factory is going still. Yeah, like this chest is still here and still works, but I can't put another down. If I pick this up, I won't ever be able to. I mean, the chests were quite useful in the early game for... like bootstrapping, right? Here? Which is not to say that I think that, oh, they should definitely be allowed, or that they shouldn't, but it would have been harder for me to automate the back and forth if you, like, your only choice was automate stuff with streamways or move it with the player. And, like, you can't even have a chest to buffer things in. You have to take it straight out of the production buildings. Yeah, they're look, this actually powers, like, I guess it only powers 3 of the 4 collectors that are involved here. Wait, actually, what is going on here? This layout doesn't make sense. Did I remove one of the collectors in the past? I have 7... Oh, no. I have 6... I see. This does make sense. I believe there's a way, if you were smarter, you could lay out 4 collectors, 2 grindstones, and the necessary gripper. Maybe? Maybe not the gripper. Using just 1 mana flare. And if it exists, I didn't discover it. So I'm doing it with more. Anyway. Like... it would have been more difficult. But I'm now kind of at the point where I want to start doing stuff where chests, at a scale large enough where chests are not the point anymore. I guess I should actually just grab a bunch of saltways while I'm down here and build the first chunk of roots myself. You're not running because this chest was supposed to contain elemental water and it doesn't anymore. Why aren't you running? Oh, you are running, but there's no chest for you to buffer your output into. Got it. So if I want saltways, I just have to pick up this many at a time. I see. Anyway, so no more accidentally cheating by using simple chests. There's things you can do to work around that, just like... Oh, what am I doing? I don't need to clean that up. You know, use streamways as a buffer, right? There's a bunch of life just sitting here if I wanted it. Use these collection buildings or the production buildings as the buffer, sort of. Get rid of all these motes, please. I hate carrying around motes. Okay, now I can finally build 1,000,000 roots. Great. But I need to, like, now move this down to where I'm making slabs, saltways, or else start a new saltway factory up here, which I could do, right? I mean, I have salt, I have life, which could be ether, right? But the other thing I was like thinking about when I think about what do I do about the fact that I don't have chests anymore, is like these spells suddenly get a little bit more appealing. Where are they? Like Vortex, right? Gather ingredients from nearby structures to replenish your inventory. If I could just push a button to slurp up, you know, all of the elemental life sitting around, for example, then I wouldn't need a chest to buffer elemental life. At this point, I'm building large enough that I don't actually need that because the production buildings have plenty of capacity. But when I was only using one production building, the capacity was small enough that it wasn't, like, I couldn't fill up my inventory from it, so I needed a chest to hold more space. So I don't think I really need it now, but, like, you know, Riptide picking things up off of streamways. Vortex picking items up from nearby production buildings. These spells start to look more appealing if you lack access to chests. But are still in the early game enough that chests would otherwise be useful. But for like a mall, right? Normally you dump stuff. You have a little row of buildings that makes all the handy everyday essentials. And you dump them into chests so you can pick up 300 of them at a time if you want. But if you can't put them into chests, maybe those spells are a good way to pick up a lot of them at once or something. I don't know. I think planar reliquaries are what I want to do, but I mean, that requires a lot of work on entropy. So, kind of stupid that there was this life here all along, but not that stupid, I guess. Because, like, it's not really much closer than this life was after all. But I could have used, like, this life and this water and had an easier start, I suppose. Okay, so now that I have a bunch of elemental life and a bunch of mana roots, oh, those need to be on the hotbar. Let's say there. I think usually I had the roots and blooms over here, actually, in the past. Okay. So we need to look at, like, what I need to start making progress on automating power, since I said I don't want to do it with mana cultivators, is I need to research mana leaves, right? To research mana leaves, I need life prisms, which means I need salt prisms and elemental life. So I guess the thing to do here is to make salt prisms. Well, excuse me, I need life prisms and elemental life. Right. I researched this already. I need, for that needs salt prisms and elemental life. This needs life prisms and elemental life and leaves. Which, I mean, this shit is all so expensive. I need a bunch of ether. So, actually, maybe now is the time. Let's blueprint this. I haven't done blueprinting much. I dropped in a little bit after the entropy update to like see the new entropy stuff, and okay, so that's a blueprint. Has it been saved somehow? Save. It's a thing. Great. I kind of said, wouldn't it be cool if blueprints could be selected in a hexagonal grid instead of a rectangular one? And it looks like that hasn't happened. There are upsides and downsides to it. But anyway, so I believe I could now build... if I take this blueprint and say this is a grindstone array, sure. I paste this and I say put one here, I guess. Which one is inputs and which is outputs? It's hard to tell, right? I guess it doesn't really matter. I'll put it here. What? So, cool that that's happening. I didn't expect it to. I thought I would... Oh, I see. No, I don't see. I do see. So... Some of them got filled in. The others didn't, and that's just because I don't have enough grindstones. That's fine. I'll build them. I need more ether. What I don't understand is why any of them got built. Yeah, okay, so it's going to fill them in once I have some. And I understand that. My understanding, though, is... Okay, so we talked in a previous episode. I was looking at the entropy tree, and I saw this step about... Okay, it didn't say this before. No, it does. It's still wrong. I thought Cyan fixed this, but I guess that was... That's not published yet. Anyway. This says mana flares act as an echo tracer source. Echo tracer doesn't exist anymore, so this tooltip is not very helpful. It used to be the shadow spell that was like... fill in stuff from blueprints, and it was moved off of shadow into entropy, so you could get access to it earlier. But what it does is it says, oh, if you have mana flares, then in a radius around them, any blueprinted stuff will automatically, the items will be pulled out of your inventory and placed. So I thought nothing would happen here until I placed a mana flare. But placing the blueprint also filled in the mana flare. Cool. That's a nice thing. It wasn't what I thought would happen. I wondered, how are the mana flares going to get there? I guess the answer is you just place them. Cool. So now we have, like, this, right? We are grinding this up and turning it into ether. And it would be maybe nicer if it were... reversed, but it's fine. So I have some ether here and some salt here, and what I want is something like... I'm probably going to want a delta here at some point. Oh my god, would you stop turning on me? This with, let's say, a delta here, where we can turn these into salt prisms. And I think just another grindstone array, right? Isn't that all I need? Let's build more grindstones while we're here, because salt prisms are just salt and ether made in a grindstone. Yeah, so give me that blueprint again, please. Like this. Pew 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 pew. All right, it's enjoyable. I have run out of streamways. Oh no. I knew this day would come. Okay, well, it's too bad all of my water... Oh man, these mana flares, they run dry so fast when they're like actually doing something. And I'm all over the place in terms of where I am. I'm not topping them up regularly, you know? Is this really my only... Oh man, okay. My absolutely tiny water production. It is. I mean, life is what we decided to scale up first, so of course everything else is in tiny amounts. Take all the water, please. I still have, what, 22 rippers? I could use a couple more. Okay, and I guess it would be nice to power this, because eventually I will need more air, I suppose. And I haven't automated it yet, so getting this up and going is at least doing something. Or I haven't scaled it up yet. Obviously, this is automation. But it's as I've said before, at the scale of embarrassment and not at like production level quality stuff. Okay, but that's a couple hundred more streamways. This I don't need to reset up because I'm working on a better way to produce life. Things mad scientists would say. Okay, so this... Wait, was I not out of... How come these are filled in when they weren't before? Do mana flares work for Echo Tracer at any distance? Like, as soon as I picked up streamways down there, this filled in because there were mana flares here and my inventory had streamways in it? That would be something. God, why am I coming all the way back up here just to top up some mana flares? What an idiot. It's because I really hate having to completely replace the mana flares, you know? But I guess if I had a blueprint for mining a moat field, I could just replace the blueprint and all the mana flares would be reinstantiated. That's nice. So this is now a grindstone, or a salt prism. It's a salt prism array. It's not huge, but it works. And it's certainly bigger than anything we did back in the 1.0 base. Oh my god, this stuff's running out. This is why I'm working on roots. Well, on life anyway. Actually, this is not so short that I could hop over it. Yeah, okay. Although, funny enough, I actually could if I really wanted to, right? I could make this an underground and this an underground, and then squeeze another underground across like this in the gap created by those two. So I actually could hop over one of these if I had to. That's kind of nice. Okay, so now that I have these prisms, I was going to make roots with them. Is that actually what I should do? No. No, I was going to make life prisms with them. I remember now. Okay, that is what I want. So let's maybe set up a streamway here, or a delta here, let's say. Where we peel off some elemental life to go in the direction of making life prisms. Inventory is full. The life prisms, I guess I'm going to have to make a new production building, eh? A greenhouse, presumably, is what makes these, yes? Yes. And how quickly does it make them? I guess we'll see. My inventory is full, by the way. Well, don't need any simple chests. Okay. Where is my greenhouse? It is at this place. So let's check out these recipes. Yeah, I think when I last played, these were at 1 second per prism. And they were changed to 1 second per, or 3 seconds per prism, just to give you a reason to need more than 1 or 2 greenhouses in your whole base, basically. And the same for all of the other prisms. So, what would making life prisms look like? Have a greenhouse. Here. And it would need... Well, I mean... I guess since we're going to need several of them, I should try to set it up in a way where they tile, right? So maybe we'd be looking at 1 here. I guess I should build another one so I can actually have a... Where is it? Here. Like this. And their output... This is like, well, actually you can do better, right? No, I want it to be here so that I can have a streamway that's uninterrupted, right? That's just a straight line. Like that. And like that. Right? And what are we doing for mana flares in here? I mean... You definitely can't have 1 flare that reaches both of these. I don't think you can squeeze these 2 grippers much closer. Even if I put the gripper here, I couldn't squeeze it, like a mana flare on the other side, like here, wouldn't reach it. So I guess one thing you could do maybe would be try to... make a gap, a place to fit mana flares somewhere. So that they take up more space in the major direction and less space in the minor direction. Does that make any sense? It's pretty hard. You could do that. That's kind of funny. And then a mana flare right there powers the whole system. Or indeed here. Now this is kind of optimizing for a stupid thing, number of mana flares, but since those are the things I'm like having to replace at the moment, I don't know, it seems fine. And it's kind of fun, right? Choosing to optimize for something that I haven't before. Now, you may say, hey, wait a minute, how are the streamways going to work? And the answer is they're going to look stupid, but it's okay because I'm putting down blueprints for this, right? So the streamway looks like, bloop, like that. Cheeky, cheeky, cheeky. And like, bloop. That. And then, I mean, I don't think I need more than like 3 of these because I'm not trying to make more than 1 life prism per second, really. But this is in principle a tileable approach. I guess you should think about mana blooms for this. That's way more important than this stupid mana flare scaling idea, right? Yeah, I should just not do this. Anyway, now you've seen it. It was a cute puzzle with a cute solution. Making them squeeze together so close that 1 mana flare could power everything was actually kind of neat. But that's not really an important problem to solve. Hello? So why... Oh, I'm pressing the wrong number key, that's why. Okay, I mean, there's none of these mana flares are in an emergency drought situation yet, so I don't have to go back up there. Okay, so if I wanted to do something a little bit less insane, which as you may know is not usually how I operate. Usually I'm on maximum insanity. I mean, this seems fine, right? No, this doesn't work because there's not actually a place where they meet up to put their out. So that's right. You always want to stagger things when you're using Wind Grippers. Something like that, but then this isn't where the first gripper should go. Something isn't right here. I had something cool a minute ago. Before I threw it away and tried to do everything with just 1 mana flare. So okay, let's say I'm doing this. What direction are the streams even going? Let's say like this. Okay, so that looks workable, right? And then on the other side, yes, we have this space here. And then just slap in 2 mana flares. I think this is what I had before. So how do I have to click here to no? New blueprint? Control B? Oh, okay. So let's just take this and like make 1 more copy of it. Yeah, so it fills in, even though there's no mana flares in the design. Are... Oh, is the radius big enough that the mana flares over here start filling it in? Or, I don't know. Is Biorhythm doing it? It's a mystery. So I don't quite understand how Echo Flare works yet. Yeah, of course you guys need power. That's just there. And there. And we'll figure out roots when we have them, you know? Now, as for the inputs, here are salt prisms. And here, supposedly anyway, are my elemental life. Oh, actually, how... I remember one other reason maybe that the recipe times on these were changed is I remember now you needed so many grippers to feed up with the insane requirements. Maybe it wasn't for these, maybe it was for leaves. No, but like when this was 1 per second, you needed 6 inputs per second. Crazy, right? Into each greenhouse. And so I remember I built greenhouses that were just surrounded by 12 grippers or something. But now that the speed has been scaled down, I believe... Oh, actually, you still need 2, don't you? Because every 3 seconds, you need 6 items. Which means every second you need 2 items. Oh no, that's fine. That's how much this gripper produces, isn't it? It's 1 item per second per arm. And we need 1 item per second of 2 different item types. So this is perfect. This gripper keeps up. Assuming the inputs are yeah, assuming this lane is saturated. Okay. Automation is happening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Otherwise unspecified folks. We are making life prisms. It's not the biggest milestone anyone's ever accomplished, but it's more than we had earlier. And it's close to science for mana leaf, right? I need to automate leaves as well, which I recall require like a lot of ether and elemental life, I think. Yes. Now I have ether over here. So I think what I will do is just have this ether come on down. And merge with the elemental life to form another little production row. I guess I'm gonna need more greenhouses, eh? How many? I don't know. But if I want to make a leaf per second, let's say, one greenhouse would be more than enough. And really I'm going to be input limited anyway. Now I may want more leaves because mana leaves, I assume, are going to require a lot of leaves as input. I don't remember what the recipe is. But it's probably at least several leaves. So I guess it wouldn't hurt to... Did I already build a couple of these? I guess not. I was planning to, and I was like, wait, how many? Oh, I guess I should have blueprinted this, huh? And I also should have built it. I did blueprint it, but I didn't save it. Okay. Ah, not that one. I should build it rectangularly so that it blueprints better. Because if you hit Control B here, like, you can't get a good capture of just the part you care about here, right? I guess this is tolerable? Can I... is this permissible? Nope. No. I don't know whether there's some hotkey like Factorio's shift place or control place or something. But if it's not going to place the whole blueprint, it should tell me, you know? It should say, sorry, you can't do this. It shouldn't just place the part of it that goes around the flowers. That's insane. Oh, can I Control V? No. Alright, let's grab this again, but save it this time. Because it's tolerable. Save this. This is greenhouses. Greenhouses. Enter. Yes. Done. Okay. And if I place this here, I mean, this isn't really the right place for it. This is all a bit spaghetti, you know, but I don't want to, like, have it right next to the Great Portal. And it wouldn't be so bad if it were near the life prisms anyway, because I'm going to want those to go to the altar together. Yeah, plus this might one day be turned into elemental life, which I could just route up here. God, why did I place that? Killing myself. Making a rod for my own back, I guess, as they say. So if I imagine this might one day produce elemental life, I can run elemental life up here, kind of parallel to... How do I get to freeform, or out of freeform mode? Control? Alt? Shift? Control? I thought that was a thing. Z? No. Is that, like, maybe because I'm playing Elementalist, it doesn't turn that on for Saltways, and therefore it accidentally doesn't turn it on for Streamways either? But there's a way to, like, force not turning as opposed to following your mouse cursor, which is what I want here. So let's just have Elemental Life come all the way over here. This seems so stupid. The whole thing is stupid. That's why it feels that way. I should just do it over here. It's fine. So let's place a couple greenhouses. Here, here, there. That way they merge properly onto separate lanes. And like, yeah, does it look stupid? That's fine. I'm not the stupid police. Which side is input on this? It's gonna suck if it's the wrong way around. Of course, it sucks no matter what if I actually place it. Okay, this is actually right. But now I have to pick it all up again because I didn't actually want it over there. I just wanted to see... Because you can... There's arrows on the streamways to indicate which way they're pointing. But there's no arrows on the grippers to indicate which way they're going. So I couldn't tell whether it was placing down in the right orientation or backwards. And it's annoying, I guess, because if you get the streamways wrong, it's easy to fix. If you get the grippers wrong, like, it's a lot harder. Because streamways you can just lay down on top of the other streamways, you know? Let's make a little space, I guess. Need more greenhouses? Okay. Like I said, I don't think I need more than one of these, but hey, may as well put in 4 while we're here, right? You gonna... I assume this is gonna work. Once it's loaded up on enough elemental life, it'll start grabbing some ether. Boy, it wants so much life. Does it go all the way to 50 before it starts buffering the other ingredient? Oh, I think it's like some multiple of what's here. Maybe not. Maybe it does go all the way to 50. Huh. Okay. Kind of weird. But there. Now it's grabbing ether, which means it should start making leaves. Great. Okay. So this is all good. The life is going away from the leaves at the moment. I guess we can just turn this around. And that's fine. Now, where did I put my salt prisms? They're here. So I now have the 3 components needed to begin research on mana leaves. And they're all pretty much in the same place. I don't even need salt prisms. I only need life prisms, elemental life, and leaves. Okay. So let's get that altar going. So I can start having access to solar power. Here? I say that altar. Really, I ought to have a couple so it can go a bit faster. 3? 3 is always a pleasing number in hexes, right? It's a little difficult, though, to figure out where to place pedestals for usefulness, isn't it? So 1 can go here that I only need 1 copy of. And then... So let's say this is life prisms, for example. I can put 1 here and here and here. I don't even need that though, right? I need like this. Life prisms to all of them. 1 ingredient here, let's say leaves, elemental life, the other one here. And that way all 3 of them have access to everything. Okay, sure. So you do your thing like that, I guess. Would this be better? Maybe? I don't know. And like that. So let's just grab some elemental life. I know I already have an open line here, but I feel like, I don't know. I want to keep that open for the future. I don't want to drag this into here and get confused and think I can't streamway it later or something, or just, I don't know. It doesn't have to be rational. Give me a break. Wait, I do need more than just these 3. What am I saying? Because I need all the ingredients to be available. Okay, so the problem is, whatever ingredient, let's say this is life prisms. No, I said this is life prisms. Whatever ingredient is going in here, I need also to go into a pedestal that this one sees. So you are missing what's there. And you are missing what's there. So I need 2 more pedestals if I'm going to do it like this. So I guess what I should do is just have these 2 pedestals contain elemental life and leaves. Prisms in the middle. And then over on this side, like, have these 2 here contain elemental life and leaves, basically, right? Although, do I want to try to use 2 gripper arms? No, I do need to have separate inputs for them to make sure that each pedestal has a dedicated thing and I don't load up, like, leaves on both of them or something. Okay. So, guess I want, like, no. Something like that? How do I stop it from getting in the way of the streamway I'm going to run to this thing? That's my question. That seems okay. Okay, I guess. So this elemental life has to make it over here. Here. I need to take the life prisms into what I made into their kind of dedicated central position. And then I need to do leaves to here and over here. Which means they have to get to this spot. And then also over simpler to do it like that, actually. Here. And then it just needs a couple mana flares. Hopefully not too many. I think just 2. Oh. And we're actually working on several things now that we have this. Yeah, we're working on this, which is just life prisms and life. And this, which is the same thing plus leaves. And it seemed like there was something else in the mix as well. Oh, you're not powered? Oh, how sad. I think what I should do, actually, is cut this out, and then I just need to move this gripper a bit. Like here. Okay. So what are we even working on right now? Just speed and leaves. Okay. So that's all like... Oh! Did all my mana things just run dry? I thought I saw them mere seconds ago. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. But we're getting soon... Okay, so here's a question. Can I say... I have a grindstone array, my friend. It looks like it was going in this direction. Put in the mana flares for me? Yes. So that's nice at least. Up here I don't really have a blueprinted thing, so I can't do that. At least here, it's quite simple to see where I need to put the mana flares. You ran out? I think I maybe never placed this one. It's hard to see when the shadow overlaps correctly. I think it's like this. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, and of course I can just do it again up here. Okay, now nothing's going to happen up here until I get the water flowing again. Take ages. But we shouldn't have to do this many more times this playthrough, because we're working on the life automation that would let us start having these things be self-powered. And so one thing I did in my previous playthrough that I'm like used to doing from Factorio is a very centralized power setup where I just had a single giant connected power network. And that's fine. It's certainly easy to produce a lot of power that way because of the quadratic scaling of like the whole network power production is the number of leaves on the whole network times the number of canopies on the whole network. But it did mean I had to run a lot of routes to new mining outposts, in addition to running all the streamways. And like verdant streamways would be one way to fix that problem. But another would be if I had mining outposts produce their own power. And I haven't really looked into like, how much power does a mining outpost really need? What's going on here? Okay. It's all just finally getting started again. So maybe like, you know, once I have leaves unlocked, I want to look at how much power does a mana leaf produce. And just like, you know, is that enough to run a single grindstone? Or does it not really do anything much until you have some canopies connected to the network. I suspect, you know, it's probably enough to run a grindstone and a gripper or something like that. So I could have mining outposts that just like... I have a blueprint for the mining collectors and a blueprint for 20 mana leaves or whatever. Enough to power the outpost by itself without having to run power to it. And that won't work at night, but, you know, we can either, like, research mana pools to solve that problem, or we can use Daycaller. Oh my gosh, these guys suck up a lot of power. Didn't I just fill this up? Maybe I didn't. Because I think mana flares, rather, you don't really see it very much in the early game because grindstones use so little power. But I believe they do have, like... They're not just... I still don't understand how mana flares work. It's not well communicated in the game. Like, do they have a fixed power per sec... My other complaint about power is that they use the word power both for energy and for power. So when you say power, you have to specify whether you mean like power per second or total power integrated over time. Right, joules or watts. But, so like, do mana flares have an unlimited supply of energy over a fixed time period? Do they have... Because, like, if you just leave a mana flare doing nothing, plugged into nothing, it runs dry. So there is some sort of time limit or minimum power consumption, maybe. But it's also possible that the way they work is they have a total power reservoir that depletes more quickly if more stuff is pulling from it. I don't know which of these is true. It seems to me sometimes that, like, some mana flares empty more quickly than others, but maybe that's like, oh, I just didn't fill that one last time I was doing a shopping trip, and I didn't notice. Okay, so mana leaves are almost done. What is that, by the way? It's so bright, it looked like a UI element, but it's just like a doodad that's a very white color and stands out at night. Okay. Yeah, like these don't require that much power. Well, let's say, yeah, this is like, it's 30 power for a simple collector, for example. And I assume much more for a greenhouse. But this would be a good time to check that out. What about a grindstone? 25. And a gripper, probably 5? No, 10. Okay. And so I'm using, what, 2 grippers per 2 grindstones, so it's 1 per... So it's like 35 to run a grindstone and a gripper to it. Okay, so slightly more than a collector. Whereas these guys require, 50. Not much more at all. More, but not a lot more, like I guessed. Okay, so this will go get me Evening Bloom, which I don't care about. To get mana regen and then canopies, I need to automate production of mana leaves. So let's make a mana leaf and see what its deal is. Here you are. Oh, right, you get one when you research it. I forgot. That's new. It wasn't there last time I played. So first of all, it takes leaves and mana roots, which I'm not yet automating the roots. But also, what's its power production? 5. God, you are the worst. Okay, it ramps up. It looks like it ramps up to, I don't know, around 25 at full noon. I don't have Daycaller yet, right? Yeah. But so 1 leaf can power 1 collector. So the idea of a mining outpost powering itself is actually, like, quite attainable, I feel like. Even without access to canopies. And in fact, maybe that should be the very first thing I do now that I have mana leaves. Because this area I'm kind of tinkering with all the time. It's not too bad to keep it topped up in terms of mana flares. But the mining outpost up here is a big pain. So what if I just build, like, you know, I can't build that many leaves, I guess, because I don't have enough elemental life lying around. But there is a bunch, you know, here. Oh, I need more leaves? Why don't I have more leaves? I mean, obviously I can pick up some leaves here. Wow, mana leaves are really expensive. And canopies are even crazier, of course. I mean, this is all from the perspective of, you know, pretty early game starvation scenario. I'm aware in the grand scheme of things, like, once you have a decent supply of everything, you know, mana leaves are not the biggest drain on your production. But at where I am now, yeah, they kind of are. So I think I can just, like, go up here and set this up to be self-managed. Let's build a handful of blooms because I didn't build this with leaves in mind. Or, you know what? With roots in mind, I mean. I could tear this apart and replace it with something that is built for roots or blooms or something. How big is the range on these? Big enough that I can just put it... Well, I can't quite reach the entire center row. So I kind of need 3 blooms here, here. It doesn't go there? This is too coastal for you? Looks okay to me. Okay, well, not allowed. That's fine. I'll do this one with just roots. Okay. So this is now... Oh, no, I have these I actually do need. Because this... It doesn't reach to up here. So this was enough to power the whole thing. And then I can just slap down, like, all my leaves. It goes like... This, nope, this, here, right? Oh, you can't drag in place, huh? 1, 4, okay. So I need to make more of them. I thought I had made several. Why are they not? Oh, so it is about these mana flares placing them, I guess. It's just they had quite a wide range. So if I place a mana flare, like, here... Oh, you can even see the Echo Tracer range. I see, okay. So this whole thing is making 320 power. And this is consuming 540. So we do need more. I mean... This would be more than I need, right? Can you... Get out of the way. So this is now one network making 400. But only because I didn't get to place enough leaves. I ran out. Solar power is pretty miserably small before you have canopies. These leaves do not do very much. But we're getting there. Just having that one outpost automated would save me a lot of heartache. Because refilling this place is, I mean, annoying, but I hope to be in the general area most of the time. I don't need these. Research is still happening on what exactly? Evening bloom, right. What I need is more leaves, please. Why is this one empty and this one's full? It's because this one can't ever place its output because this lane is... okay, whatever. That makes sense. So I can make a bunch more leaves now. Mana leaves. Okay. Let me top up everything in this area before I go back over to the mining outpost to place its power. Its mana leaves. The remainder of its mana leaves. Okay, so that doesn't really do anything. But that's fine. So we want to automate mana roots in a minute here, and we have all the materials at hand to do so. But I do want to make sure this outpost is up and going. And it won't work at night, but like that's fine. I just want this to produce stuff. I don't care that it produces as much stuff as it could possibly make. I'm still just trying to bootstrap. I don't have all the tools to do everything perfectly. So 400, 540. We're short a quarter plus a half. I'm short a quarter of this? I don't know. Plus a bit. Let's just copy this. Figure maybe that's enough. How many mana leaves are there? I don't know. Oh, it has time of day now. It didn't used to say that. It's 22 o'clock apparently. I don't know what time dawn is. Let's just plop on a couple more. I don't have any more. Okay, well, forget it. This is probably enough. It won't run at night. It might run at slightly less than maximum output because maybe there's not enough power here. But I can grab this at least. And say, save this. It's, you know, 500 watts ish, which I can place at mining outposts. Actually, I should probably have it include the mana flare needed to place it. Yes, and the mana flare will die off. So can I 500 watts? Delete. Yeah. So if I save this as 500 watts, mining power. If I place it again, I believe the mana flare... Well, it probably won't be placed because there's no mana flares nearby to place it. But it'll be a reminder to me that I should place one, I guess. I don't know. Generating hyphen power. And now it's 2 a.m. You'll tell me what time of day it is, but you can't mouse over to find out what that means. I'll wait. I got nowhere to be. Feel like the sun's coming up to anyone else? Feels like it's getting brighter. Alright, whatever. You just do your own thing. I lied when I said I would wait. So all this stuff, you know, these are not being emptied all that fast. It looked to me like they were earlier, but I don't know if that's because they're not getting enough inputs. Like, look how little elemental life is actually going in there. And therefore they're not actually running at full tilt, or if there just is no correlation between how much power they're using and how fast the mana flares run dry. Okay, so what's going on now is that we are consuming way more elemental life than we are producing. Or more motes of life, both as ether and as elemental life combined. And that's fine. I said, when I built this, I said I wasn't going to use any of it as ether. And that then I would have enough elemental life for all the stuff I wanted to do. But A, I decided to do other things, and B, I used a bunch of it as ether, so we're not really saturating anything here. That's fine, I guess, but only because I can't easily fix it. So mana roots are what I want next, because with mana roots, I can automate mana leaves, plus you just need a lot of mana roots. And if I could automate mana leaves, I could get to canopies, and that's where power starts really being a thing. So... oh yeah, look at... we're just dying for ether. No. Well, yes. For motes of life, which are mainly... they're being 50-50 turned into ether, I guess, because of the splitter here. I guess this side of the factory needs 1 million ether, and isn't actually using that much elemental life. Whereas over here, or motes of life, whereas over here I need... all the motes of life are getting sucked up by just a couple of these elemental binders. So if I wanted to make... roots, I have to make saltways. And to make saltways, I need salt prisms and salt. Obviously, I have those things both here, but the salt is a bit mixed, you know? So, I guess... and then once I have that, to make the roots... okay, so movement speed is nice. To make the roots is just elemental life and saltways. I have elemental life right here. God, my throughput on mana leaves is going to be so bad. I just don't have enough inputs. Did not build big. And that's on purpose. This is just my first, like, bootstrapping step to a modestly sized factory of early game things. But, well, I mean, you know what? There's more elemental, or motes of life right over here. I could mine those. Where's the rest of the ether going? It's going into salt prisms. Okay. Okay, so Arboretums make mana leaves extremely quickly. So I'm only going to need like one Arboretum. One mana leaf per second would be more than enough for what I have in mind anytime soon. Mana roots, you know, one greenhouse makes 2.5 mana roots per second. Seems like a lot. Yeah, that does seem like a lot. So I think I really only need one greenhouse for it. So I don't have to build especially big on that. But I need to get the... Well... No, I need a Tinker's Table first. Because I need to make my saltways, which are simple enough. Doesn't actually fit here, huh? That's fine. We'll do this. So salt here. Prisms. Oh, I went under prisms, but I also need... There. So now I can just take a there. So that's the inputs to a Tinker's Table for making saltways. Where do I even want the dang gripper? There, I don't know. This is all not scalable at all, and that's just the way it is. So this is making these. So every 1 second, it needs one of each item. Which means I actually do need... Okay, this is not sufficient. I do need both arms of this working. So it has to look something like that. Like that? And then output-wise, every 1 second we're making 2. So don't I actually need 2 grippers to pull output from this guy? Is that crazy? I thought before I didn't need that, but I think that was maybe because I wasn't fully feeding the input fast enough or something. Because each of these air grippers is one alligator. Okay, so it's 1 per second per arm. So it's actually 2 per second for the whole thing. I can never remember whether it's 1 per second per arm or 1 per second for the whole thing. Okay, so one of these is fine. And then I plop that into a greenhouse, and how am I getting the elemental life in here? Look, don't ask me these questions. You're not going to like the answer. But fine, there's that. And I guess we're doing something like this to get the elemental life. I've run out of all my fancy Streamway stuff. I didn't automate building the undergrounds. I just built like 10 of them when the night was still young, early on in the game. So now we're making roots, and sadly, there's no longer any chest I can put them in. So I can only buffer 50 roots at a time in this thing, which is like basically none. And like, I mean, I want the roots to go back over. So there's something that wants roots, right? Like this wants roots. Verdant collectors would be nice, you know? Overgrowth pillar, I guess, would be something. I never even did this stuff. I need leaves. I have leaves, but I'm not sending them to Scienceville. Wait, there are leaves right here. What else do you want? Oh! They need salt prisms instead of life prisms. Right. They're a lower tier of research. Oh, I have salt prisms right here. It's kind of awkward to run them in, but it would be nice to do, wouldn't it? This one's a lost cause. I can just do a little bit of that easily enough. Needs more ether? Well, I don't have ether lying around very much. I guess I do. No, it needs water. Water, 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 of course. Well, good thing I have a chest here. Nope, it doesn't need water. It needs salt. Okay, build all those. So this will do at least some research, right? Yeah, it's starting on this area here. And if I could power mana roots in there as well, I could get Rampant Bloom, which would certainly be nice. And a larger biorhythm would be nice as well. So, roots, you exist now. And, I mean, if I'm being honest, I think we're just, like, sending these straight to hell. Oh, whoops, don't do that. They're coming around the horn here. Another horribly designed factory. This is the fun of the first plane, though, you know? You have to take this in good humor. I guess I just wanted actually to come like this. Of like, this is just not a well-designed anything, because I'm not designing it, I'm just building it. Okay, and then I actually did run out of streamways. Where did all my elemental water go? I guess it all... Oh my god, all this stuff is empty now. Okay, that's a decent number of streamways. It's not a lot, but it's some. So I can fill this back in. To get a little bit of more production going until that glorious day, hopefully not long in the future, where I have all this stuff automated in a serious way. There you go, enjoy. But this whole thing falls apart. And I guess really this elemental water should not be going into a chest. Okay. Or I mean, it could go into a chest, but that can't be the only thing it's doing. Oh, I see. This mana flare is no longer in a good place. It should be here. If I want to power if I want to do this. Because the only thing this water really does is make streamways. And we've already got a streamway plant down here. I guess we want to go like this. Where can I squeeze this input in? Just up here, I guess. Oh. Remember when I had all this stuff lying around and I said this will be a monument to my horrible early game design? Joke is on me. Turns out it was useful. Once. Okay, so we're making streamways, and I have to rebuild the mana flares, but at least, and now honestly I don't want this chest at all. At least I don't have to do the logistics of moving the water around every time I come down here, because that's always, like, let's be honest, it doesn't really scale. But I do need the ether going. I mean, I guess we didn't really run out of ether. What ether is it using to do all the making of the water? It is this ether, right? Yeah, it's just we had a lot of it buffered up. Now this... is not what I wanted. Okay. The thing is, I can't move this chest. Okay, stop. The Magician's Apprentice has gone mad. I need a gripper that feeds into here but doesn't feed into anywhere else. And doesn't take input from anywhere else either. It doesn't actually work. If I remove this, well, I would be losing power, right? Yeah. If biorhythm were off. I can't move that chest or I won't have it anymore, and I do want it. So I guess what I'm supposed to do is this. And just have more flares. So this one is taking the stuff buffered in the chest, which is finite. But this one, and it's also taking the salt waves, which are automated and limitless as long as power is supplied, which is not forever. But then this is grabbing the unlimited water. So I think these two grippers together are doing everything I need done. Okay. May as well top this all up before I go. Because it's gonna be a while before I have automatic production of streamways, and I still do need a lot of them. Large-scale automated production. Obviously, I do have some automation down there, but it's a bit janky. No, so like some of these died and some of them didn't. I think that must be related to their power draw, but I don't really know how it works. All right, my inventory problems are pushed aside for a very brief moment, I'm sure. Oh no, don't you guys run out. Oh man, this stuff all went dry. It's like a nightmare. Those are easiest to fix. Okay, you don't even have any inputs left. So I can just put down a blueprint on top of those other guys. Like that. But then some of them didn't run out, and so the blueprint placing didn't actually refill them. Oh, boy. How does... It's really hard to see where things line up. I think I want this. Nope. Great. Well, shoot. It's the grippers on the right who are duplicate. It's just hard to see when you're trying to line up two things where it's supposed to go like that. Okay. I think I've been recording for like 7 hours. Maybe I should stop this episode. I had some. I wanted to get something done, and then I got it done, and there's another thing to get done. I mean, that's how games work, you know? There's always one more thing to do. But we've made good strides today. I mean, there's a lot here that wasn't here at the start of the episode, and it's doing useful things, even if it's kind of a mess. And we have some new technologies, and they're doing cool things. So that's it. That's today. I don't know how much of the new content I'm ever going to get into before I stop recording these, but I hope you're enjoying me floundering around again despite knowing my way around the game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.